We are not part of technology. We live technology today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ankit Bafna, director at ClearTax. Oops, not ClearTax anymore. I am from Clear. And the journey from ClearTax to Clear is what I was about to show you in the video and what I'm going to take you in the presentation over here. So, when I started this journey, we just had a good amount of survey from spectrums of CFOs over here that what are your biggest hurdles, what are your biggest challenges you face as a CFO today. And then we found out the poll. Guys, the PPT? As I told, we are not using technology. We live in technology. And the video lived up to the expectation. And we took a survey from a spectrum of CFOs that what are your challenges which you face today? What are your biggest hurdles as a CFO that you face that during your course of your business, the top challenges? And the first one was compliance. And it was undoubtedly, but it became the biggest challenge and the hurdle for every CFO. So then we decided, and there was a quote. If you think compliance is expensive, try non-compliance. You will know what is compliance. And then we found out that we need to bridge that how can we do compliance for all the company. The CFO told, Ankit, you need to merge two people, the finance tax team with my supply chain. And these two are opposite pole. Every CFO has a dream that I need to merge, attract these two people like jeevansathi.com website or matrimony website to ensure that two people, opposite poles, attract each other. And this is the aim of every CFO, that the supply chain team who does the business, the finance team who maintains the business have to be collaborated to ensure that the business is on and just not the tax compliances. And then we did some RCA, that why today the two different teams which are running in two different divisions, why are they not collaborating? And then we found out few reasons, like tax laws are changing very constantly. There are multiple stakeholders who we have to ensure that we'll have to get on the table before we take any finance decision. We reach out to IT people, tax are not there. We reach out to tax people, supply chain people are not there. And to ensure that we gather all these people at one place was the biggest hurdle we ever had. And as we see, government is changing multiple rules and they are becoming stringent, and India is moving towards real-time compliances. Then we did a small survey, again, identifying that where are we today as India, how are we technology advanced, how are we improving in GST, and how are we improving in tax compliances. And then we found out that 40% of the vendors are today non-e-invoice compliant. 15% of the GSTians do not file 3B. They file with their 1 and they go away with their 3B. 60% of businesses actually do not claim their eligible ITCs or the available ITCs. And why? That is the challenge. And then the effect of all these three, the effect of the non-compliance is the PBT is impacted and the working capital. So we thought that is it just because of compliance or is it beyond compliance? And then we found out, we reached out to multiple. So we did a good amount of survey during this COVID days to ensure that the journey from ClearTax to Clear has to ensure that it has addressed each and every question, each and every hurdle the finance, the CFOs are facing. And then we found out that the reason that it has to be, the compliances has to get technology, it has to get automated, it has to get digitized because loss of bandwidth, there is a lot of element of manual people being involved, poor and non-actionable cash flow, error flow processes, broken invoices management system, because majorly it is all manual punching today. And from manual punching to ensure smooth compliance and to ensure to keep our vendors happy, to keep our customers happy was the biggest challenge. And then after doing all these RCAs, we reached out to again those spectrums of CFO. Great, you told me what are your challenges, right? Now, can you describe your profile? How do you prioritize your role? What is important for you? Compliance is your challenge, but can you define what is your role? And then we found out that this is the prioritization of each and every CFO we reached out to, that we want to ensure that planning and budgeting, financial compliance, payment and credits, transaction vendors, and record keeping and reconciliation are the priority which we need to reach out. Now, every CFO again started telling that, Ankit, I need a suit. I need a digital transformation which answers all or major of these problems. Only then I can ensure that I can concentrate on the business and not on the tax compliance, because as we know, India is a beautiful country with different languages and multiple compliances, right from tax, secretarial compliance, labor, environmental law. And to ensure that the company is running, the CFO tries to make his CEO happy, tries to make government happy, tries to make his own finance team happy. To ensure that he addresses all, we came up that there should be a dire need that what, and how should we improve. So prior to GST, which was 2017, we were still doing compliance. We were still running the businesses. What did it suddenly change? We were still filing our excise returns, VAT returns, service tax returns. Am I right? Am I? I know it's a lunch time. Just bear 5 minutes with me. Do you agree? Do you agree? What is the change? It's still GST, right? Just another return. In fact, the companies, manufacturing companies were filing three returns: excise return, service tax return, as well as VAT returns. But today there's only just GST. Then what is the challenge over there? So they were doing manually. As and when the businesses increased, as and when the volumes increased, they started outsourcing. So they thought, okay, let's outsource to the tax experts. There are doctors who can take care of my health, so let the doctors take care of my compliances. Then the companies decided, yaar, the business to badhte hi ja raha hai yaar. So is badhte hue business ke liye, let's bring integrated. So let's integrate our compliance. Let's ensure that our ERP talks with the tax compliance software available in the market. The business understands where and all we are going. But as and when the generation changed, as and when the transformation changed, we wanted real-time compliance tatkal prabhav se. Until and unless we do not bring real-time compliances, Ankit, with the changing trends which is happening in India, I really doubt that the CFOs, the CAs, and the MBAs were just not built to ensure that they finish the paper filing and everything. They wanted to be part of the business, and that is the reason they told that we wanted real-time compliances. And that is where we took a good amount of time to ensure that we shrimp tax from clear tax and we move to clear, to ensure that we connect the ecosystem of finance and try to address almost all the stakeholders and the divisions to ensure that we at least start a partnership to ensure that we contribute to something. And as and when we do, we can start building. And then we found out that before I could take you through my suit, these were the clients, these were my partners who invested, who trusted, and helped us to grow in this suite of just not tax, but finances. And I would like to take a moment to present to you the complete suite for the first time. Clear Tax, which is now converted to Clear, is coming out with a suite of these services. Earlier, it was just into GST. Earlier, it was just into IT returns. But today, it has touched each and every button of your shirt and ensure that it is connecting to ecosystem. Starting up with Clear Identity, it helps you to onboard all your vendors, customers, suppliers who are compliant. We give multiple APIs to ensure that when you onboard them, you know whether they are the genuine defaulters or the good players or the bad players. Kundli check, no? We do a Kundli check before we marry with anyone. This is the Kundli check which we start up with, clear identity. And then once you onboard them, what do? Let's divide it into sales and purchases. That's the two major thing, inward and outward. Let's start with outward. As soon as the onboarding is done, what do we need? We need to generate an invoice. So we have a software, Clear Invoicing, where we help you to generate invoices and integrate with your ERP on real time. And once it is integrated, we need to ensure that every single invoice of yours, B2B, needs to get registered with the government portal and give an IRN. And that is where the Clear e-invoicing helps you out to generate an IRN. And from there, the same set of flow, the same transaction, automatically, without any manual intervention, moves to the Clear GST, where it helps you to file your sales return, which is before 11th. And once that is filed, your outward transaction is completed. And that's the TDS, always there, whenever there's a goods, and you'll have to collect and deduct TDS. And then we started moving to the payment cycle. And the first product after Clear Identity, we started with Clear Capture this year. And one of the CFO, he was great fond of politics. Everyone, I believe, over here are well learned in politics, and you must be very much aware of Mr. Modi and Mr. Gandhi. And there was a meme which just flooded the market just then, where yahan se आलू डालो वहाँ से सोना निकलेगा. Agreed? Did? Yes? Yes? And this is what we bought for Clear Capture, because one of a reputed CFO told that this, the product which you have started with Clear Capture, is something like, Ankit, यहाँ से तुम आलू डालो, वहाँ से सोना निकलेगा. भाई पर कैसे? Get me a bunch of your invoices, and what I put the bunch of your invoices in this tool, which will just not parse, which will just not do your OCR activity of converting your PDF documents, scanned documents, photos, or manually written PDF documents. Just not it parses, but validates your e-invoicing, your IRN. It validates whether that invoice is fake or not. It validates whether the QR code which your vendor has raised on you is right or wrong. And it also validates, just validates, that whether it is finding a suitable entry in two-way. And only if that is all there, as we saw in the video, that only if the three conditions are passed, the data, your purchase data, will move to your ERP. If not, it will throw you errors. That Ankit, invoice to barabar hai yaar, but IRN number hi nahi hai. Because now with coming 5 crore, where the government has reached out that almost 5 to 10 crore people will also be applicable, and with we being all the reputed companies, we must be having all the MSME and the bigger end vendors, majorly, where already invoices are already applicable. So in those cases, almost all our purchase invoices are with a tag of a QR code, and we need to ensure that all those invoices are genuine, and this software does. And after that, two-way. And from there, जो सोना निकलता है, it moves to Max ITC. The next flagship product which Clear has implemented this year is that the biggest challenge of each and every CFO is यार ITC Ankit. जब भी कुछ भी बात करो, my reconciliations are not done. क्या हुआ सर? मेरे vendors, मेरी accounting team. The accounting of each and every invoice is so great. या तो मेरा वेंडर फाइल नहीं करता है, या अगर वो फाइल करता है तो मेरी टीम अकाउंट बराबर अकाउंट नहीं करती है. और उन दोनों को रिकंसाइल करने के लिए यार मेरे आई हैव स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ पीपल सिटिंग इन माय ऑफिस हु डज इट. बट देन वी डिसाइडेड दैट वी ऑलरेडी हैड अ रिकंसिलिएशन टूल अर्लियर इन क्लियर टैक्स. इट्स नथिंग न्यू. Then we started interrogating this COVID. The 2 years, the shun period of COVID made us do a lot more research, and we found out that we can improve our matching by customizing the reconciliation rules, by bringing multiple logics from the user, not from a tool. The user can himself bring multiple logics, can create multiple rules for himself to ensure that he creates his own reconciliation logics basis his own company's accounting. And once the reconciliation is done, Ankit, इसके बाद क्या करना है? सर पेमेंट ब्लॉक कर दो. कैसे ब्लॉक करे? सर ब्लॉक कर दीजिए. As soon as your reconciliations are done, it will hit back to your ERP. And then it will tell that these are the vendors who have not filed your returns. These are the vendors who have filed it but delayed. You can choose to hold your payment at real-time compliances. And this is what this software does. Everything is digitized, nothing manually, ladies and gentlemen. You just click a button, the reconciliation report moves back to your ERP. It confirms the reconciliation, and then it takes a call whether to make the payment or not, and you will have the liberty to do that. Once the payments are blocked, the same has to be informed to the vendor ki bhai, tera payment humne block karke rakha hai. And for that we have the next module, vendor communication in Max ITC, where we give you a module where you can communicate with your vendors for vendor communication. File your returns or we'll keep holding your taxes. File your returns to ensure that you're part of our compliant suite of suppliers and vendors. And this vendor module which we are going to give you is going to be there irrespective whether people are doing it manually or whether people are going to do it from their own system. We are going to give you a database of the entire exchange of mails which has happened in Max ITC. And from there, once everything is through, bhai reconciliation kar liya, payment bhi release kar diya, vendor com bhi ho gaya, now even he has filed his returns. Now what? Claim the ITC. The tax, the invoices moves to your clear GST automatically. You create your own PR, you create your own purchase register, claimed purchase register, not the available, but the claimed purchase register to your GSTR 3B, and you file your returns smoothly, and along with that, the GST. Then the CFOs again came. Yeah, Ankit, you are a technology company, so what should we do? Because technology company mein, we always need some advice. So I told sir, I agree that we were a diagnostic center who used to run X-rays, who used to run scanning machine. We did not have doctors. So the patients, the clients had to go back to the doctors to get their health check. That whatever the results they have got from the diagnostic center, whatever the results they have got from the X-rays, have to go and get vetted from the doctors. And just then we decided that we'll open our own consultancy practice in clear tax. Then this will be the first ever company in India where it will be a technology-driven, technical-driven company to ensure that we manage both the technical as well as the technology front from then. And then we were into tax, we were into finance. And then we decided, let's acquire. We acquired the first monopoly, the largest monopoly company secretarial practice in India, which is in Simplify. Mr. Shankar, who started this company, who has spent a good amount of decades in his experience in Wipro, he started this firm and we acquired them, and we both are partnering to ensure that it is just not tax. Under finance, the tax and the secretarial compliances are merged and are forming part of this entire finance ecosystem. And that is when the last one, we even started Simplify, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll just take you a last 30 seconds for sure to take you the page we have. The new GST 2.0 Clear Tax has launched, which has connected each and every dot, each and every ecosystem of finance. From GST to Max ITC, e-invoicing, invoicing, clear capture, TDS, and invoice discounting. Earlier, there are multiple partners outside there, and we had different platforms. Then we decided, let's stitch each and every platform to ensure that the integration is real time. As soon as you upload e-invoicing, the data goes, your sales data goes to my GST portal without any manual intervention. So your B2B data is ready. And the flagship product of Clear is Max ITC. As I told you, in theory, now I'm showing you the page over here, that it is reconciliation. From reconciliation, we move to vendor payments. From vendor payments, we give you vendor communication module. And from there, the CXO dashboards and the data overview. Signing off, this time it's Ankit Bafna from Clear. Thank you.